Hi, this is Vinny from the iMoot team. I'd like to, um, oh, let me, oh, let's just turn Dot's mic off. Okay, I'll give that a second shot. I'd like to thank Austen for presenting today. Austin's a senior advisor, National Learning and Development at the Inland Revenue in New Zealand. Don't hold that against him. He's been looking after this particular installation for, I think it's 9 years now. So he's going to be talking about 10 years, is it? 8 years. And so he's going to be talking about how to rapidly create content for courses. So thank you very much, Austin, on behalf of the iMoot team. And I hope everybody enjoys the forthcoming presentation.
Very cool. Thank you. Okay, so this morning I had the opportunity to present this to the TOTRA Government Users Group in Wellington, and I discovered this is quite a short presentation, so apologies. I won't pad it out, I'll just get to the point. So if you've got other plans for your hour, I won't take up too much of your time. So first, a little bit of context. Inland Revenue is New Zealand's tax authority. We're a very technical, compliance-based agency, 6,000 staff. We've been using this type of LMS since 2006. We're on a relatively old version. We're on 2.4. It's the TOTRA distribution, but we consider ourselves very much moodlers. What's interesting about our site is that we have a lot of people with editing rights. So if you notice the 6,000 staff and almost 1,100 of them have editing rights, that's a lot of people who play in the software. We also have a lot of course pages and then a lot of course pages that used to be around. And we have a busy site. And I just want to highlight a couple of these elements because they make sense and why we need to rapidly provision courses. So let's start with my love of Muppets. We have too many course creators, and most of them only create 1 or 2 pages, which has tremendous impact for support costs, but also our time and effort involved in supporting those who are only built once or twice. We have a lot of people who use the site. I love my Pac-Man icons as we consume all the staff to make sure they're in there. And as you can see from that, there's a lot of traffic. So this to me signals that we have a lot of people who use the site for a lot of short courses, and that really does quite sum up our environment. And as course creators yourselves and site administrators yourselves, you probably know a particular problem of new course creators. They tend to turn everything on. They explore new fonts. We turn down pages that have Comic Sans in them. They tend to have every block switched on, a million activities, and generally so much stuff that the learner can't get to the good stuff. And so in our template model that we'll show you shortly, we've gone for placeholders for the minimum requirements, guidance on the page design. The other reason that we needed to do this, and I guess it's probably indicative of being a compliance organisation, is that every course page needs to have a lot of stuff. We've got tagging for searching, we've got naming conventions for your record of learning. We have accountants and lawyers in our organisation who have CPD, so they need to have particular CPD objectives and hours and points and relationships and competencies that they flow and keep our courses up to date. So we've got review and archive dates, and there's just heaps. And so I've tried to on the slide here show, if you like, the Moodle settings that you normally have on editing a course page. And here's a little bit that's TOTRA settings that are on top of that. Then all our local IR settings related to audiences, CPD. Yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff there. And unfortunately, if that was it, that we could probably manage with just restoring course pages. But there's more, unfortunately. When our staff attend our course in person, there's a whole lot of requirements. So our face-to-face settings are quite elaborate. Every piece of training has a mandatory level 1 evaluation, and there's quite a lot to set for those. And then course completion rules need to be quite strong because it's quite important to people that the course they've done is recorded correctly and that flows through to other things around their performance plans and if they've got CPD stuff, that all works properly. And then we've got reminder settings because people aren't necessarily always that good about filling in compulsory level 1. So we have reminder functionality that sends them an email saying it's time to do your level 1 and then a series of escalations, ending up with your manager to actually get it done. So that's quite a lot of stuff that needs to occur on a course page. So we were hunting for a way of improving that. We wanted to gain some efficiencies in how we do our administration. We wanted to improve the technical quality of all of these settings. Even if I set course pages all day and even I forget steps. And we wanted to make sure that the course creators spent less time on all of the administration stuff and actually focused on what really mattered, the reason for creating the course page, which is the content. So we came up with a solution. That's a template block, which sounds really unexciting and unimaginative. And we only heard about it by chance. It's a template block that's not yet been shared on the Moodle plugin directory, but it will end up there. And this is pretty obvious, but it's not quite enough because our users, particularly new users, kind of get confused by the terminology used here. So we dress it up, and this is the bit that I'm proud of, and I wanted to show you and share in this community. To start with, we have some workflow. When someone is assigned a course creator in the site, they're automatically enrolled in our support course page, which is NIR, which is the page you're looking at the moment. So just taking a moment to look at the page elements here. Learn IR is what we call ourselves. We're focusing on collaborative social learning environments. Our theme represents that. We show the person's photo, it's mine, you can see what I look like. And this is the Train Our course page. Like every page, it has a right-aligned image. There's the completion block in the corner here. In this case, there's no course completion and it's add a new page in Learn IR. People seem to be able to figure that out without real prompting. Once they click on create a new page, they get to view the list of templates that we have. There's quite a few of them. At the moment, we're focused on our 8 core templates, but if you scroll further down, there's yet more that are the ones that business units who run monthly seminars repeat and use, and other more obscure types that we tend to have. So if you're a user, you can quite quickly scroll through this to see the type of course. And because we've kept it to reasonably clear what it's about, we don't find too many issues with people picking the wrong type of template. So let's go ahead and click on the building button. And the first thing we're presented with is just that very top bit of the course editing settings, which is pretty much you have to declare the name. We have a practice where the course short name is the same as the long name. And we never bothered with a script to generate that for us automatically, so people have to enter it twice, which I have to explain many times every day. And then you have to type a course summary, which most people generally have an idea of what the course is about when they start, which is useful. And then down the bottom, they click on new course from this template. And they're presented with the new course. So in the background, the LMS has restored a copy of this template. Apologies for that plane going by. Has restored a copy of the course page. You can see that there's a headline style that's used in case they overtype it and they've lost what it is. They can find H2. We insist that every course page has a unique right-aligned image, and we have some guidelines for size. And we want people to say who the course is for, what it's about at that beginning point. This particular type of course, we've pre-configured the face-to-face session, and we've also added the level 1 evaluation. So it's quite a simple, clean template. And you see there isn't a lot of extra blocks. So our expectation is new course creator would go in, oh, this is straightforward, away I go. And that's our experience. And as you scroll down, you'll see there's a button to click to go live. And all that does is it's a mail to link addressed to our LMS administrator with the course ID and the instructions saying please review, you know where it's located. This is reasonably straightforward for us. we insist that every course page is reviewed before it goes live. So in total, there's not a lot to see here, is there? So we've got templates, we've got a nice interface or workflow to get them, and at the end of this process, our people seem pretty happy. Just want to talk about a couple of little behind the scenes aspects of this. So templates are normal course pages, as you'd expect. We maintain them as hidden categories so we don't keep people trashing them or fiddling with them. The template block itself is just restoring a backup copy. And so that means to make a change, we have to first delete the old template, make the changes in the default course that we're using for the template, and then re-add it as a template. That's a bit cumbersome, but then only site administrators do it, and most leave this well alone. But that seems to work for us. The other thing is that we could have simply left the course template block on, and we considered that for a while, and then we had a horror case where we had someone who restored a course over the top of an existing course and lost records. And so we thought, well, this doesn't work, and that in some respects prompted this workflow around having just a button that links to the equivalent code. So this course template block is actually on every page. It's just hidden. Oh, here we are. So it's really easy to build technically correct course pages in our environment. We are in dogfood here. We use this in preference to add a new course button. I can't recall personally adding a new course button for certainly in this year. We've had in our environment, we've got a lot of course creators who normally request training for anything. We've had nothing. I think we're going to call this genuinely intuitive. There's been no demand to return to the old process. And our course creators, their feedback is they say they like it, and that they quite enjoy the process because it's instant and they don't have to wait on site administrators to release a page or to go through the process and someone go through the process of fixing. So this is the endpoint of rapid course page provisioning for course creators. Are there any sort of questions about the process or how we do it or what the outcome is or how it might be applied in a academic setting or yeah, we'd welcome your comments or thoughts. So the question here is where do the links on the help blocks redirect to? So we have quite a library of help pages. They all live in one category, the how-to guide category, funnily enough. And when you click on that, there's a long list, and they cover and then they revenue specific things around how we cover for CPD and how we handle the link to performance plans. And then they go down to more basic levels about how to create a quiz activity or a choice module. We use the face-to-face module, or use a feedback module. So generally, we've got the normal things we've had to do in person covered. That seems to work for most people. We still have sections we have to manage, but that's working for most people. And Vinny's question about do we see issues arising when we move to a more recent version? We have quite a lot of customizations in our site, and upgrades for us are a big deal. We're quite keen on moving to 2.7, but it's a sort of an 18-month window for us to upgrade, in part because of our IT rules and audit testing regime, but also because we need to make sure the code continues to work. Quite important to us that our accountants continue to be registered and our lawyers continue to be able to practice, and CPT data is quite important for those. So we're quite risk averse. So upgrades are a big deal, and this kind of stuff is a relatively simple customization. We're hoping that our vendor pushes this up into the catalogue, and we're hoping further that the TOTRA people introduce this as core. As from a corporate setting, this would seem to be something we want to have as a default. interesting that you've used a template for the face-to-face module. We also did this quite early on. There's a lot of settings, and about 40%, I think, of our training is in person, of which the LMS has quite a simple role in terms of handling the bookings and then the post-course evaluation and recording the outcome. So we did templates manually for a long time, but it's quite a hassle, and we find that new course creators are a bit nervous about jumping on the phone or emailing us questions to get courses. They don't often know the right things to ask, and so it can be quite a roundabout conversation, whereas this process seems to be relatively intuitive. I do appreciate your nice comments about the workflow. Thank you. I'd like to focus on Ellen's comment around is this configurable in TOTRA. This isn't in any way a TOTRA piece of functionality. The template block is commissioned by a corporate who uses Moodle. We heard about it almost second hand from a developer who had cleaned up an aspect of the code. So this is pure Moodle stuff. And the presentation layer stuff of all the extra things we have to configure is TOTRA specific, but there's no reason why it's not going to work in Moodle in exactly the same way as you see it here. So Mary's question is around how you get a request for a course. So our normal process is that you either call or email or visit us to say you want to be a course creator. And then we simply do one thing, and that's assign you the course creator right in the site. So then you get the welcome email, you're automatically enrolled in the Trainer course, and away you go in the development area using the templates. We try to focus our support then on the content that you're building in the course page rather than a rather large pile of administration put in the way of getting things. So Ellen's asked a further question about, is this using the Moodle request a course functionality? We had a long play with that functionality, and we could never quite get it to work the way we wanted, which is what you're seeing now. So I think you can get some of the way with course request, but you're still talking about manual intervention, certainly in the instances I've seen of it. So we didn't explore that any further. Dot's comments interesting around the templates at a category level. But Dot, I would imagine you continue to then still have to manually apply those templates, and it's still, there's a delay, you know, if the admin's away or busy with something else, that the course creator loses some momentum. Yeah, it's kind of cool to do it at a category level. I hadn't thought of that. This question. We have very simple stuff around so we wouldn't expect our users to touch CSS or anything at that level. Template would be the sole sort of anything sophisticated, and most of our training content is either PowerPoint, Word, PDF, and occasionally Captivate, and less often Articulate SCORM file. I see Vinny's highlighted the other issue about backup and restore for more fancy things. your script sounds quite clever to sort out that sort of stuff. There's a question around do we use development in pod environments, and we made a decision in 2006 not to go down that path. We have a development category that is not visible to staff members, or the learner role, only visible to course creators. And then we have a policy that you're allowed to do whatever you like in the development area. You can play with any functionality. We don't say, we no longer invite people to try and break the site. Actually, someone will, but we do encourage to play and do as much as you can in that development area, and that all stays in the production, but hidden in that development category, and then that goes through review and is published. And people seem to respond quite well to that confidence, recognizing we're a compliance organisation, and people don't normally get the opportunity for freedom and play. And I think course creators generally need that to explore, particularly what is for them generally new technology. Good on you, Matthew. Yeah, that's the way to go. Well, I think since we seem to have reached a point of, I think we've reached a point where the presentation is probably run to a natural end. So I might at this point turn off my cam so I can save some bandwidth, and I'll stay online to answer questions. But from my perspective, the active part of this presentation has come to an end. I'd like to say thank you very much for attending, and I hope that there's some value that you can take from this. And part of the process of these conferences is to share the things that you do, even if they're quite small like this. I look forward to hopefully seeing you doing your own presentations in this space. Thank you, and I'll say goodbye, video and sound, but I'll remain on the chat for a while. Cheers.
Hi, this is Vinny again, and I'd like to say thank you again, Austen. That was great. Short, sweet, but really useful for people. Thank you for presenting, and I'll see you around the moots, I'm sure.